All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll go ahead and get started. Just a couple reminders again. Please silence all cell phones. Live streaming is not permitted. The press conference will be available in a virtual press box at the conclusion. Please go ahead and raise your hand to ask a question, and the wireless mic will be brought to you. And please list your name and affiliation. So we'll go ahead and get started with coach comments from Coach Bob Motzko.
Well, I mean, I think we all saw it. I mean, it was a lot closer. That was probably the closest 9-2 game I've ever seen. They have a 2-1 lead in the second, and they were playing to their game plan. But what I liked about us, we stuck to our game plan and kept getting pucks deep, and we had to grind tonight because of how they were going to play. And Huglen gets the big goal to tie it, and then their line gets the big goal to go ahead. Late in the second period, and that turned the tide for us. But it was the only way we were going to do it was grinding. And then the power play took off there, and it was a lot closer game than the score, and you all saw that.
So we'll take questions for our student athletes. We have senior Bryce Brodzinski and sophomore Aaron Huglen.
Jess Myers from the Rink Live. Aaron, just coming back here after such a turning point in your hockey career, overcoming the injury and what you did with the Force. Just is this kind of how you scripted it?
Yeah, I mean, obviously really fun to be back in Fargo. Love it here. Yeah, like Coach said, obviously it was a closer game than we would have liked, but we got it done. So, yeah, good to be back though.
And can you describe your goal?
Yeah, it was. I think Pitlick kind of made a turnover, and then Lamb got it to me, and I just shot, and luckily went in. So.
This Rachel Lindsay from the Buffalo News. This question's for either Bryce and/or Aaron. How would you describe how Canisius came out against your team, and what did they do to kind of control the game early?
Yeah, I mean, it's they won a championship to get into the tournament, and so they were kind of playing off that high of winning a championship and being in a championship game, and they brought that they have nothing to lose factor to the game, and so they got on top of us early and had a couple of good goals, and kind of kept us on our heels for a while.
Randy Johnson, Minneapolis Star Tribune. Bryce, you had the goal taken away. Did you feel you had to get a couple more for good measure?
No, I was more mad at Cooley for not scoring the one I passed to him. I usually don't get a lot of assists, so when I passed that one, he said sorry, and so he gave me a goal back afterwards. So yeah, no, I wasn't too upset. I think I knew it didn't go in, so yeah, I wasn't too upset.
Laux, Gopher hole. For Bryce and Aaron, just what was the emotion like on the bench? Obviously down 2-1 and kind of that swing for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, obviously a lot of hype being the #1 seed, and you got to be humble. Obviously they came out strong. There's no bad team in this tournament, so we just had to stick together, and that's what we did.
Yeah, I think guys. Early on we were kind of trying to do things ourselves and trying to score goals like that, and guys were getting a little bit frustrated. But Faber's a great leader and kind of gave it to us in the locker room a little bit and told us to stick together and play our game. And we kind of changed the way we were playing, and things started going our way.
Bryce, that third period when your team got the 5-minute major, what was the goal, in that? Not just scoring goals, but what else did you have to do to produce offensively and really kind of hit the throttle in there?
Yeah, I think it was just sort of maintaining pressure. I mean, with a 5-minute major, it's kind of a, it's a good point for us, especially in the third period, to kind of get their defense tired. And, as long as we're staying on them, keeping pressure and, staying in the O zone, not giving them a chance to change it, it kind of gave them that they were kind of tired the rest of the game. And, it kind of showed after, that 5-minute major, we really kind of started to take it up a little bit.
Jess from the Rink Live again. Both of you played in that game against UMass last year when you had 2-goal deficits in the second period. What did you draw from that in a game like this, where it's second period again, you look up, you're behind on the scoreboard, and is there kind of a quiet confidence that, we've survived stuff like this before?
I mean, it's just playoffs every year. It's going to be like that. Going to find yourself down, so you just got to find a way to stick together and keep playing your game.
One more question. Second period, your team controlled face-offs. How pivotal was that for your team puck possession?
Yeah, I mean, if you can start every single possession, every single face-off with the puck, I mean, it's going to be a long night for the other team. And so, that's why a lot of the best teams in the country are always the teams that lead face-off percentage in the country. So, it's usually the older teams in the country, and we're one of the youngest teams in the country. So we really pride ourselves in winning those face-offs. And, Nelson was really good tonight. And, it really helps us offensively whenever we get to start with the puck and, not chasing and kind of putting on pressure.
Randy Johnson, Minneapolis Star Tribune. You guys get St. Cloud State again on Saturday. What are your thoughts on the Huskies and what you'll face?
They're a solid team. Coach said after the game they're going to try to shut us down offensively. So, I mean, we just got to bring it to them, play smart, chip away.
Ryan Boland, KVRR. For either Bryce or Aaron, just what do you make of the Gopher faithful in attendance today? Every time you scored, it was pretty loud there with the Minnesota chants. What do you make of the fan attendance for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, it's they've been unbelievable for us the entire year, and it's it's super cool when you're going out for warm-ups and the place is packed, and when we're playing at Mariucci and the student section's completely full when you're going out for warm-ups, and they've been unbelievable for us all year, and it really helps us in games like that when maybe a team hasn't played in an atmosphere like that, and you get the Minnesota chant after a goal, and you kind of tuck your tail on the other bench because you don't know any better. So they've been unbelievable for us, and we're sure happy to have them.
All right, that'll conclude for our student athletes. Thank you. We'll go ahead and switch to head coach Bob Motzko.
Bob Jess Myers from the Rink Live. It seemed like your team simplified its game as it went on. I mean, was that, you talk about it being a grind, but was there a message to slow down on the fancy plays and get pucks to the net, that kind of thing?
You weren't going to get any fancy plays. I mean, they were keeping 3 and 4 guys back and 3 guys across the line. You had no choice but to dump pucks. And we knew that coming in, watching. And we were trying in the first period. The 2 penalties called on us. So now we're down 4, and they score, basically a power play goal. Our guy just stepped on the ice. I think Justin would like that one back, and we just but we stuck with it. Like, that's the one thing that I like about our game tonight is I had to cut the bench short tonight. I haven't done that a lot, and we used the TV timeouts. I like those tonight, and that was the key to us coming back. Is we had to play a grind game, and something that we're continually getting better at.
Brad Schlossman, Grand Forks Herald. Bob, way back here.
Oh.
You
They let you in, huh?
What's that?
They let you in, huh?
Yeah, you talked about the TV timeouts. Does the NCAA tournament change the way you coach because of that? And is there an advantage for you guys this year with that big line that maybe you can play them a few more minutes?
Well, yes. Our league only goes to 1. And sometimes when you have a line like that or offense, we hope to use it to our advantage. I think it did tonight. I don't like 2 minutes, but we were able to use it to our advantage. And then the little extra time in between periods. Tonight we use it to our advantage. We got to try to get a little more out of all 4 lines, though, Saturday night.
Randy Johnson, Star Tribune. Bob, what was your message to your team when you got that major penalty in the third? When you went on the power play, the 5 minute.
We came out. We got the lead right at the end of the second, and we just said we had to stick to it. Every puck had to get deep because they had just played 7 games in 3 weeks. And I don't know, but we started to have a lot of success down low, and we get the power play, and we've seen it go both ways. If they kill it off, we got a hockey game to the end, and we found a way to, Snuggie gets his mitts on one on the back door, and then we followed up with another one, and then it loosened up, but we didn't say anything. It's just keep doing what we were doing. We had good puck movement. And then we went to 3 power play units, and the 3rd unit scored. Lamb and Kurth continually come on for us and really giving us more depth. It's a little bit of a real boost for us right now, and Lammer got that goal. So we went 3 deep, and it helped us.
Dylan Laux, Gopher Hole. You talked about shortening shifts and kind of maybe playing 3 lines. Was that kind of a tap on the shoulder for Brody Lamb when you threw him out there on the Huglen line for the game-tying goal?
Yeah, and we kept getting him out there as much as we can. I mean, he's going to be a big-time player, and he kind of has gotten overshadowed a little bit at times. And young, we brought him in maybe a year early. He's a terrific player. And he just keeps getting better and better, and that's just confidence for him. Same thing with Connor Kurth. So they kind of get overshadowed sometimes by the big line, and we're going to keep rewarding those guys, and they're good hockey players.
Bob, we hadn't seen Colin Schmidt, I think, in a couple games. In a game where it's going to be a heavy kind of hockey game, does he bring that kind of physical presence in the middle on that 4th line?
Well, I felt bad for him tonight. They got scored on. They got down low and got scored on in the first period, and they hadn't played a lot lately. It was kind of I'll take some of the fault because he's just a terrific young man, and and then that's when we shortened our bench.
We don't get to talk to you tomorrow, and I know it's this one just ended, but I know you're relieved. Yeah.
Thank goodness.
What about the Huskies? You thought about them already? You obviously know that program pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, we played them this year. We get them on TV, and I mean, they're on a heater right now. They've had a tough stretch. They knocked Sandy off in 3, and then. Then they had to take on the green team, and they're on a roll right now, and playing awful well. They're playing with confidence too, and that's one thing you can see with them. And even though we were peeking at it today, my staff more, but Mankato was playing great early in the game, but they just hung right in there until they got their power play. So it's going to be a hell of a game.
All right, that'll conclude. Thank you, Coach.
And thanks to Sandy, we get the day off, too. Thanks, Sandy. Okay, appreciate it.